We're live and welcome to Carla Astrology. And I want to thank you, Maria, for accepting the invite today.
My pleasure.
Lady Knight of
Hello,
Avalon.
everyone.
Um, so as we're waiting for people to join in, I'll give you a little backstory if you haven't watched the video. In 1879, there was a couple named Esther and Charles Morris, and they had a little ranch type house in Decatur, Michigan, well, between Decatur and Marcellus. And one night, Charles heard a knock at the back door. And when he went to the back door, oh, hi, Carol. Carol's here. So when Charles went to the back door, um, apparently that's when he got shot. And to give a little bit of a little bit more on that, the housekeeper, her name was Jenny Bull. She was asleep in a bedroom somewhere, and she heard nothing. But Charles' wife did, and she had actually come out of her bedroom with a revolver, and then something scared her. She dropped the revolver and went back into her bedroom, into the closet to hide, and that's where she was shot. So supposedly the housekeeper, Jenny Bull, heard nothing. So the next morning, a fired, mind you, handyman, groundskeeper that had been hired previously by the Morrises, found them shot dead. And then, of course, Jenny Bull, oh my God, and what I find interesting is that he had been fired because he had been drinking, or drunk a lot. So they fired him. And I thought that was kind of odd that he was even there in the first place to find the bodies. They had a neighbor. His name was Charles Rosewarne. He supposedly seen the murderer, or the person that shot the couple, drive off, gallop off on one of the Morris's horses that they found the next day in South Bend, Indiana. And what they seen was different, was that there was a branding, like whoever took the horse branded the back flank, with which I couldn't find the any picture or anything describing the brand that was on the horse. So the neighbor said that the guy had a strange hat on, and Jenny Bull had described the murderer, or she actually drew a picture. And if you look at the picture looks like it looked like a devil to me. And Bob, my honey, says it looked like a werewolf. But I mean, werewolf. Oh, Lady Blind Wolf is here. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us. So I think before we get into this, because we went to the graveyard, and I don't believe that there's any residual energy or spirits from that murder. There was a lot of activity going on in the graveyard, but I think since there was a lot of fresh graves and a lot of people go there every year for the anniversary of this, because it is an unsolved murder to this day, that I think it feeds the energy of, just it attracts that type of energy. I felt curiosity. I didn't feel anything malicious. It felt like maybe at one point, like they might have been messing with us, but it almost felt like the entities were like in it, like they're kind of watching us curiously and talking amongst themselves. Like,
look at these humans.
Yeah, exactly. And I do have a red dragon, so I think at one point they were like, "What is that?" My guide, I take that particular guide with me everywhere. So, and yeah, I am the crazy lady that lives next door, if you know what I mean. So
Someone's
I wanted. What did you say?
someone's got to do it.
Absolutely. And I've really taken it on good. So today, one, I have my Purify and Replenish smudge spray that Maria and I got at the festival that we went to when we were in Eli. Yes, absolutely. In fact, let me do that. So
yeah, this one is charged in the moon. It also has a little crystal in there.
Yeah, and it actually smells really good.
Yeah, my cat just disappeared from it.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
So I want to do a like a meditation or a calling in of protection, that protective light before we get into this, and maybe connect with the universe through everybody's, like our third eye, and get connected and ask for answers from everybody's guides, our higher selves. Obviously, I'm going to be talking to my dragon guide because he was there with me. I think they might have even got him on camera. So the young ladies, I told them about the channel, so hopefully they're tuning in or they check it out later. But the one young lady at the end of the night, she caught a I don't know if you watched the video, but it maps like a stick figure type energy. It looks almost like stick figures, like dancing around the graveyard. And she caught like a big red one on top of my head. And I'm like,
there he is.
I've been trying to tell everybody. So anyway. Okay,
hi, Susan.
so hi, Susan. Yes. Another lovely lady. You guys are so awesome. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Don't need to close our eyes if you want. But and this is my first time doing this live with readings and all that. So I really appreciate the support today. But let's call in that white light of protection, because we just never know. I have a personal name that I use for the source, and that personal name I use is Jehovah. So let's call that in. Protect everybody today. Protect myself, Maria, and all the ladies in chat. Protect us with that white light. Surround us with protection so that nothing with any type of bad intention can stick to us. And let's help us to tap into that third eye, that the center of the universe. Help us to gather information and not be affected by bad energy. Let's just maybe get some knowledge. And if anything, help any residual bad energy from this, like the Morrises, anything that they may have suffered, Floyd Smith, the terrible things that he went through being falsely accused, and his wife suffered deeply because of it. Let's help them release it if they haven't. All right. Does anybody else want to add to that?
I think that's perfect.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so Maria, what decks did you bring today to?
Well, for this, since it's about ghosts and stuff, I do have my Haunted House tarot. And I also thought I would get one of my dark decks, my Ludi Lescott, which has some pretty dark images. But the interesting thing is more the descriptions in the guidebook, because they are not typical RWS. I can give you an example. In the star card, it says, wash the blood from your hands. So I thought maybe this could be some extra hints or something, some clues. So that's why I chose that deck.
Hi, Rhiannon. Thank you so much for joining us. And yes, I think that's an excellent deck, Maria. Oh, yeah. Maria's got me jonesing for the Haunted House. I'm telling you, it is excellent. It is excellent. Yeah, she got me to get it too. I had to. The images are beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So I also have my Wizard deck by Barbara Moore. it's there is, if you look at the back of the cards, there's a red dragon on them, and this deck speaks directly to me through my red dragon guide. So,
Awesome.
definitely got that. I think I might start with that one. And so I'm kind of thinking that maybe the first main question I would like to ask is, maybe we'll start with a person, because my gut tells me Jenny Bull is involved. So earlier today, and I'm sure you guys probably already know this, I was checking out like yes and no, and maybe cards that like represent that. So I feel like she was involved, and maybe if I start there, that whether to go on to like, if like more about her. What do you think?
Yeah, we can start there.
So like, say, is Jenny Bull involved?
I think I'm gonna try and see, like, how is she involved? What is her involvement?
Okay. All right.
The
Okay.
ghost tarot. Yeah, that one might be good too for this.
I think so too. I would, yeah. Yeah. I have a lot more that I would like to add to my oh yeah, I already showed that one. I have a lot more that I want to add to my collection, but anything ghost and creepy, I really have an affinity.
Well, I mean, Christmas is coming up, so just make a wish list, send it to Santa.
It's what I did, and my daughter got me the, see if I say this right, Rhiannon. Goetia? Yeah. Gosh darn it. Okay, so yes. All right. So
okay, let's see. What is Jenny Bull's involvement?
I hope you all are pulling cards there in chat. Let's do this.
Yeah, get out some decks. Let us know what kind of cards you're getting and add to the story. What is Jenny Bull's involvement?
Oh, my guide said throwing 2 cards at me. Oh, wow.
Okay.
King of Swords, I think, would be a big yes. Swords normally would be no, but I think as a king, it's yes. And King of Cups.
What was she? She was the housekeeper?
She was a housekeeper. And I feel like she might have been involved with the handyman's name was Riley Huntley.
Yeah. Because I'm going to go more with the images on the cards than with the actual card positions here. So the first one, I don't know if you can see this clearly. So there's a woman. She's sitting there. She has a raven next to her. And there's a black rose. And there's blood coming from that rose. And she's also been crying. And there's a lot of roses at her feet. And I'll show you that. This is why I asked if she was the housekeeper, because here we have a lady doing some embroidery, like doing housework kind of things.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
So I think this is representative of her. And then we have this card here that is actually the 8 of Cups. And it's got this couple, and like she is a little bit hesitant and he wants to move forward, and she's like, I don't really know. So the feeling that I'm getting here, at the bottom of the deck, I have a guy out in like the middle of nowhere. And so my feeling that I'm getting from the cards is that if there was this other man and if she's involved, maybe it was her lover, boyfriend, infatuation object, something. Maybe she didn't want to go through with whatever he wanted to do, and she was like trying to back out. I don't know, because like with this one, like he is moving forward and she's like, I don't know, and he's like, what's the matter? And I mean, they're walking up the stairs to some mansion. So yeah, I'm like that's the feeling that I'm getting if there is, because there's also like this shadow figure here that her involvement may just be indirect. And yeah, I think this is the man who owns the house.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh,
She's like
I'm
doing the
getting
housework and stuff.
whew.
And this guy here looks very different. Like he actually looks like not the highest upper class, especially with the long hair and stuff. So, because something that I also read about the area is that there were indigenous people in there.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if there was also like with the house, it kind of reminds me of Amityville in a way, which was built on indigenous like gravesite, I think.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so there was possession with all of that. And I wonder if there's also some indigenous magic or something, some curse or anything working its way. And so if the murderer, like, because the thing that she drew looks kind of not from this world.
Yes.
So maybe it was like a ghost, a beast, whatever kind of that took possession. And she saw that instead of like the real person who was possessed.
Wow. Yeah. Lady Blind Wolf says that happened a lot. There were a lot of indigenous tribes that got sent from Michigan to Indiana once Michigan got its statehood.
Yeah.
So, and back to what Carol said, I'm wondering because, okay, another little bit was that Esther, Charles Morris's wife, the lady that was murdered, Charles and her were murdered, she was pregnant. So I almost wonder if that wasn't like a betrayal to the housekeeper, and maybe because, you know, Riley getting fired because he was a drunk. So he might have had a vindictive type motive, but there was nothing stolen except for that
Hmm.
horse. So it makes me think that maybe you might be onto something with the possession.
Hmm. But this, like, the man is here. The man is in the shadow, and he's watching her. So I think in this case, it
Maybe he was
like the feeling that
infatuated
I'm getting
with
is
her.
like he was maybe infatuated with her, and maybe she didn't want that,
So she was
and
going to tell.
like yeah, maybe it was some kind of jealousy, but who knows which way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was extremely intuitive and in depth. Wow. Okay. So, all right.
Because here
So,
with the bottom of the deck, I have the five of swords, so like betrayal and like winning over others
mhm,
and like
mhm.
getting ahead of others, and he's also crying, but he looks very well off, and he's got the short hair, which kind of looks like this guy there, but not like this. So I think maybe the man of the house was trying to like be on top of everything, and maybe the guy that was in love with the housemaid tried to get her out or something.
Wow. That definitely kind of, so, I mean, we are establishing a possible motive here.
Mm.
So that tells me just from that reading that Jenny Bull was reluctantly involved, and she was too afraid to open her mouth because
Yeah.
possibly, didn't understand
And
what she was seeing, for one.
yeah, let me read you the card description of this first card. It says, a tomb is sad with no flowers, but we can die several deaths only to smell the perfume of the roses once again. What if that was not the first time that someone got something done to?
Well, okay, so also once, okay, because Riley Huntley, he was the handyman. that supposedly found them the next morning. He was also the same fella that was fired for drinking on the job. So, he accused, after the police, they called them the Pinkerton police. They're like above the law. They call them in when, they can't, they need to get this case solved and it becomes a nationwide interest. So they call in the Pinkerton police to come in, and they were talking, they were interviewing, and I believe that Jenny Bull and Riley Huntley were suspects at that time. And both of them pointed the finger at Floyd Smith. And Floyd Smith was eventually arrested on December 17th, 1789. And he swore up and down his innocence. And
well, that's interesting with a Three of Cups then, because that's three people being involved. Yes. And maybe someone had to take the fall.
Yeah. Well, after Floyd Smith was accused, he absolutely stuck to the story that he was innocent. So 2 deputies, one named Constable Botsford and another one named Scott Smith, who was not related to Floyd Smith, a lot of Smiths. But anyway, he, on their way to taking on the deputy and Floyd Smith, 3 of them on their way to take him to the jail, they were ambushed, supposedly. And during the ambush, Floyd Smith was captured and taken by whoever it was that ambushed them into the woods somewhere in Decatur, Michigan, and he was tortured. He was actually strung up from a tree and beaten, and he did not die. They didn't kill him, but he had like terrible throat injuries from it. And through all of that, he still said he was innocent. But because of all this drama, all the terror that he and his family were going through, he moved away. And like shortly after he moved away, his wife died. So he was like, I believe, just like picked out of a like, that guy did it type thing. Because he swore his innocence out of all of it, and just was like, his whole life was just ruined. He was brain damaged and everything after that.
Should we pull some cards on him?
That's what I'm thinking. I think that's a great idea.
Oops. Now they're going all over the place.
So we're asking now about Floyd Smith and if he had involvement, and what was it? Wow. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Wow. Isn't that the Empress? Or... And look at her. Looks like she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And Esther Morris was pregnant.
Let's see.
Maybe Floyd Smith was involved in, because he didn't want his wife to know. Maybe he was involved indirectly because maybe he was having an affair with, who knows? That's kind of interesting.
Well, I got the Queen of Pentacles, and she has a little bunny there, which is also like fertility and stuff. I've got, what's that? The Ace of Wands. But here's like, this reminds me again of that woman, and here's the hand with the wand, kind of like having power over someone, almost in a threatening kind of way. And then I've got
And
the
the
Tower.
Oh,
And she is just leaning into it, falling down. It's kind of like a suicide. She's also crying. She knows what's coming. And at the bottom of the deck, I had a horse rider.
oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Jezebel
And
is.
he's the Knight of Cups, so some romantic
Oh,
involvement.
so, oh my goodness. Okay, so the neighbor that seen the guy ride off on the horse said he had a funny hat. So I mean, and just the fact that what I pulled, I believe, is representation of Esther. So what we are investigating is an unsolved murder.
So Esther was the wife of the Morris guy.
Nine of swords.
Which makes sense because my first card was the queen. So yeah, the woman of the house.
It makes me, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I wonder if that there was more drama going on and that more people had more, because Charles and Esther were, obviously wealthy. They were considered pillars of their community. So they had to bring in the Pinkerton just to get to the bottom of this. So there was a lot of people that were not speaking up, and if Floyd Smith's wife died, she wasn't, I mean, she died from like the mental stress of all of it. And they're very vague. Exactly.
So if I put all of the 8 cards that I have together so far, it would seem like the husband and the wife were in this wealthy life, like doing their own stuff. Like the wife knew that the man was probably not very faithful or that his eye was wandering and that he might have taken advantage of Jenny. And she might have not been happy with it, but it looks like she's just turning away from it because like she's facing away from the other cards, like she was turning a blind eye. But yeah, and the other woman might have just, out of all the mental anguish, killed herself.
Yeah, I feel like this was one of those high profile cases that at the time there were a lot of people. Why would they force Floyd Smith? Why would they like ambush him on the way to being taken to jail? I wonder if the 2 deputies weren't just said they got ambushed. I mean, I don't know, but either way, they got ambushed so that Floyd Smith could be beaten to tell the truth. And still, he even on his deathbed said no, he had nothing to do with it, and he probably didn't have anything to do with the murders, but he was indirectly involved. I feel that he was definitely involved.
I think like if these people live together on the same property and work in such close proximity, they probably all knew what was going on. But it's like one of those things that you just don't talk about it. You just like deal with it on a daily basis.
Yeah. Lady Blindwolf said in her deck, the guy in the 9 of Swords looks like he's crying. So it's like he probably loved Esther.
Yeah. Or Jenny, one of them.
Or Jenny. Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of, yeah.
Because if Jenny was taken advantage of, that could be like the guy who wanted to get away with her.
Yeah. Wow. So I think definitely near the end of this, we're going to have to help these spirits release it if they haven't. Because I feel like there was so much stuff that because of the couple that was involved, that they had to be sworn to secrecy. I mean, obviously, Floyd Smith had to die with his secrets. His wife died with her secrets. So many people died with their secrets. What happened to Jenny Bull? I would like to know what happened to her.
Okay.
Uh, 1879, September 28th, 1879 is the anniversary of this, and it is unsolved to this day. What happened to Jenny Bull?
Oh my God.
Oh. Mm.
Could it be that she was pregnant?
That's a good possibility, because I got the Fool.
Running away from the mansion. Yeah.
And the Lovers.
Yeah, and if you look at that card, there's one person in the back watching.
Yeah.
So it's like, gotcha.
Uh-huh. I wonder, because, you know, actually, I mean, honestly, after I first read about this, I looked her up. I tried to find anything I could, and I found like descendants, you know, but
Yeah.
nothing about her.
Okay, so the first card here is a woman coming down the stairs, and there's like all these pictures of the people, like ancestors, whatever, who lived in the house. And she's just walking down those stairs, but she's crying once again. And she's holding the flowers again, just like and the first thing here with the flowers. So I think that's her. And then this little kid dressed like a clown. This is the Six of Cups, which is also like childhood and stuff. So this made me think of like maybe she was pregnant
or pregnant.
And then I have this guy looking after a ship, like being too late to get to wherever he wanted to go, to do whatever he wanted to do. So like this, like being too late aspect. And then the card that I mentioned, wash your hands from the blood. So I'm getting a weird feeling, like with the hands washing them of the blood, that maybe she tried to not have the child.
Yeah, maybe. Yep.
And if he knew about it, like if he was too late to save her or something, that could definitely be a motive of some sort.
Absolutely. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Well, hello there. It's nice to have everybody stop in and check this out. We're finding out some stuff from the universe about an unsolved murder that we're not here to solve. We just want some answers. The reason it was so pertinent to me, because I had no idea that it happened on the anniversary of my birthday. And for me, it was like somebody had something that they wanted to say, that they wanted to get out. And now it's feeling like, you know, if you look it up, there's a lot of like holes in everybody's stories. So it's like, I feel like there was a lot of secrecy. So absolutely.
Yeah, so with the Nine of Pentacles, that's like the, let me see. I'm trying to get the RWS image in my head. What was the 9? I can only think of the 7 right now.
prosperity.
I'm
So
trying to visualize the picture.
I wonder who was in their will.
Did they
'Cause
have a will?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
I gotta look up the Nine of Pentacles. Totally spacing on that one.
Yes, it was actually 1879, but yeah, you were very close. Or you were 100 years close. But yes.
Where's the nine? It's probably gonna be the last card.
A rich woman.
Oh, the woman.
Yes. Yeah. See, I'm wondering if maybe something wasn't bequeathed to her.
Yeah. Because what that gives me with like the falcon that like whose eyes are covered, and it's probably the woman who covered the falcon's eyes, like this element of not wanting to see the truth, kind of like here just like knowing about it but looking away, and just like pretending to go about the day-to-day life and her garden and doing all that stuff. So yeah,
Maybe.
like if I don't talk about it, it's not gonna be real, kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay. I'm kind of getting a picture in my head of like the stories unfolding for me. Do you have any questions you want to ask that you're thinking now, or anything?
I think I would like to look into the husband, the
Charles.
rich guy. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm gonna mix all of my cards together again. So what was his name? Charles Morris.
Yes. Thanks for stopping in, though. Definitely. Yeah.
So Charles Morris.
We're kicking off October the right way, though, right?
Yeah. So how does Charles Morris fit into the story?
Me too.
Okay.
This booker keeps wanting to stop. I got the Three of Wands. So I feel like he had a lot to lose if all these secrets came to light. Like he was building something, and
yeah, which goes with my Tower card. Like there's this moment, like everything coming crashing down or being close to that moment. Then I have this card, and here she's in a graveyard, so maybe someone had to die, and there's I don't know if you can really see it, like a shadow figure with what's that thing called? Like what the death always has, like
oh gosh, what is that called?
And there's like a bunch of people in the shadows behind him. And at the bottom of the deck, I got the Devil card. And there's like seduction and all that kind of stuff, and even like with the pentagram. So with that, I'm wondering, I mean, even back then, they did have some kind of secret societies. If he was part of some, I don't know, rich people club or something. And then I also have this, like the lady is looking in the mirror. Once again, she's sitting on those flowers, but the mirror is looking elsewhere. So it's like this, if this is Jenny, like there is someone, she's on the outside, and there's someone else, she's on the inside. And it's like there is the secret, everything that's hidden, and then there's what we portray on the outside. And I think, like, yeah, with these two cards, this is giving me some kind of, whether it's secret society or rich people club or whatever you want to call that. I think that he was involved with some people, and maybe they did some stuff that modern society or whatever kind of society would not really be happy about. Kind of like Eyes Wide Shut kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting that feeling too. I'm thinking, yeah, he was a pillar in the community. So the secrets that they had to, like, maybe it was because of that group that he was in, somebody from that group said, no, this ain't happening. So,
Yeah.
I like Phoenix says past lives. And I did have an idea. The reason, like I said, something spoke to me. For one, it's the anniversary of my birthday is when this happened. So I thought something said just check into it. So I've just been curious about it. I went to the graveyard, blah, blah, blah. But the feeling that I got there was that they had moved on. But I'm wondering if, like when we talk about past lives and stuff and repeating lessons and stuff, I'm wondering if, the reason that they moved on is because they're living another life now. And they might not be presented with these same issues again, or something that they have to get past.
Well, for me, the thing is, like, I would personally never look for a ghost of someone in the cemetery. Right. I would always go to the place where they died.
Yeah, we did try to find that, and I have no idea. It's Decatur, Michigan, a remote road in Decatur, Michigan. Well, they're kind of
I looked it up. Like, it's not a very big place, but still,
If I was to actually get deep into it, I could probably find it. I really don't have a doubt. But even the girls in the graveyard was like, yeah, this was the first time hearing about this Morris murder. But yet you can look it up and it's all over the internet. Like little stories, everybody's take on it, but no real details. So
yeah, it's kind of strange, but I think there were a lot of secrets that were supposed to stay hidden.
I think you're right.
And at some point, it just got out of hand.
Yeah, I think so. Where they passed, or a favorite hangout.
Yeah. The Queen of Pentacles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, then the question is also, just because they were both living that rich life, but who was the rich one in the first place? Was it the husband or the wife? Because sometimes if a man married a wealthy woman, that he would have all that wealth. Because at that time, women couldn't really, he would get all that from the woman's family, right?
Yeah, if there's one thing that I have learned about a lot of places in Michigan, like where I grew up, we had a lot of Mason temples and stuff. And even your wealthy, like the founders of like a small town, even, they had their gatherings. And I would never say anything bad about the stuff that we do. But there are people that use the occult in manners that are not on the up and up. Actually, where I had my 18th birthday party, was at a little hall in Allen, Michigan. And above the hall was a meeting group. And they actually had like a pentacle. And I don't know if it was witchcraft or it was just occultism, but they had offerings and stuff in it. And, at 18, I had never practiced anything like that. I had read about it, but I was like, whoa, what is that?
I can imagine.
Yeah. But it was,
wow.
Yeah, and we broke in. We weren't supposed to do that either, but we did. We broke in because we were like, "Why is this locked?" And they were like, "Oh, okay. Now I know I was locked. They're doing some stuff in here. We need to." And we got drunk, of course, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, Michigan has a lot of, at least around where I grew up, a lot of little stories and, like I said, Mason temples, and some of the things that were practiced weren't on the up and up. Yeah. So that's not why I use this stuff. It's to help people move on, help people with, problems and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. So
I got one question we can ask. Like, did the people trying to solve the case know what was actually going on? Did they try to cover it up?
That is an excellent idea, because they called in the Pinkerton and I had no idea what that was. I asked Bob and he said they were kind of above the law. They could do whatever they wanted to find answers. That also means they could cover them up.
Especially if he may have been part of a secret club or something.
Exactamundo.
So well, let's look into the Pinkerton then.
Okay, let's do that.
What does he know?
I don't know. The 9 of Wands. I feel like
he knew, because he's like that card coming out of the darkness into the light.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, yeah.
But also like exhaustion from it.
Interesting.
Like,
so the first
much.
Yeah, the first card that I got is the one that I got for Jenny in the first place. Okay. So I guess he kind of knew who she was and what was going on. Then I got this one here, this lady standing on the balcony looking out like there's total wasteland and everything. And she's trying to like hold her heart or something. So this gives me the like protecting love kind of thing, protecting my heart in a way. And there's a guy in a hat and he has money in his hands, like shuffling coins. And there's a horse.
Oh my goodness. So it's almost like maybe, just maybe, the horse was just like a distraction, like something that somebody did just to throw everybody off.
And at the bottom, I've got a queen. And she's once again looking away. Someone was paid.
Somebody was paid, a hitman.
Maybe this was a hit.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was the lady of the house who was fed up with everything. And underneath her is what I perceive to be the husband. Yeah. She may have been fed up with all of that kind of stuff. Because I get the feeling this might be her as well, like trying to protect her heart and everything, because everything like around her is so devastating and like dying, and there's nothing she can do about it. And so, yeah. And here we have the guy in the funny hat and the horse, and there's money involved.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, with the Page of Cups being like a message, like some type of a message that they knew they were being called there, not just to solve it.
Yeah. I think this was like the people involved.
Hi, Ange.
They knew. Hi. And yeah, I mean, with money, you can buy a lot of things. You can buy someone's silence. You can have someone offed.
Yeah.
So, maybe the wife got fed up with everything, but I don't know, in the darkness, maybe she was mistaken for someone else, or I don't know.
Well, it said she was coming out with the revolver and she was so scared. So maybe, I mean, because she dropped the revolver and tried to hide. So I'm wondering if maybe she overheard whatever the murderer was saying to her husband and knew there was no escaping and was trying to hide. And he found her too.
But who actually said that she walked around with a revolver?
Yeah, I don't know. I believe that was the maybe we should look into that because
Because like that's the question. Like, who actually told the story? If one person was hiding, one was dead, another one was dead, and someone fled the scene.
Because they assumed they found the revolver like by the bedroom door, but yet she was hiding in the closet.
The wife.
That's where they found her dead. Yes. Oh. So they assumed that she had grabbed the revolver to go downstairs because she heard the noise, and then maybe the guy was coming up the stairs and she dropped it or something and ran to hide.
Yeah, if the hitman didn't know the people, maybe she was mistaken and thought to be Jenny or something.
Wow, yeah. Yeah. That's a very good possibility too. So she's the woman with the veil holding 2 cups standing is what it looks like to be. A woman with a veil. That's like choices.
Yeah, well, the veil is like hiding.
Right.
And then the 2 cups, 2 different love things going on, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And the 4 of Swords is a man laying down, a sword beside him, and there's 3 swords up in the air. Yeah, that's the waiting, being called upon. Maybe someone was waiting for her signal.
Oh. Yeah. Wow, I feel like we cracked the dang case.
Yeah, I think if we're onto something, then this might be some kind of weird relationship mix-up, drama, jealousy kind of thing. Like this is not just cut and dry.
No, and with them being pillars in the society, whoever was looking at it was like, oh, that's not good for our image here.
Yeah, especially if there was something like occult stuff. I just split the deck and I came up with this card again as I was talking about it. So and right underneath is this. So you got the occult and you got the church. So that doesn't go together.
Or he could have, yeah, that's possible because or maybe, yeah, like a loan shark of some sort, because nothing was taken. Whatever they were murdered for nothing that they had, unless somebody inherited something afterwards. Or, yeah, look at the crimes around that area prior or right after. Yeah.
Yeah, if nothing was taken, then it wasn't a robbery.
Right. Right.
Because they could have easily staged that, like right away after killing the people, just grabbing stuff. But if that didn't happen, then it was personal.
That was the first thing that I thought of when I first heard the story, that the horse was irrelevant. But the fact that it had a weird brand on it, and they said it was like their best horse. I mean, who knows if that branding wasn't there beforehand, and that was what called the murderer.
That was my question.
That's the horse you're supposed to take, the one with the branding.
Or did they brand it after escaping to hide it and say, no, that's my horse. It can't be that horse.
It's possible, but how would they have known that it was the Morris's horse in the first place. It was found the very next day in South Bend, Indiana, and supposedly that brand that was on it wasn't there before. So it had to have some.
Which is why I'm thinking maybe they put that brand on there after escaping. To then pretend that it was a horse from somewhere else, that it couldn't have been that particular horse.
Okay. Even though they were still able to identify it.
Like with a stolen bike, getting the serial number off.
Yeah.
So just putting a different serial number on.
Right. Huh. Wow. Well, I think, I mean, I have a good idea of what I think happened, you know, and I feel like if there's any way to let all that go, maybe that's something we could do, is have like we just maybe everybody say something to help the energies, like let it go, be done with it. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any more questions?
See, now my throat is getting closed up, like not being able to speak.
Oh, so maybe there's more questions.
I'm pulling some cards to see like
if there's just
the
anything
overall picture and stuff. Just missing one card. There it is. I think the wife might have been involved in the weird stuff too. Like the first card I get again is the man with funny hat and horse.
Funny hat and horse.
And then I got two women here in like a very, like she is tied up in a pentagram. And then there's this very animalistic thing. And this makes me think of like maybe even ritual sacrifice.
Yeah, that kind of crossed my mind. I'm gonna like actually probably do some investigating when this is over, just to see. And I am going to maybe look into where the Morrises, like their family and maybe the house.
I just split the deck again, and this card came out. A guy, the funny hat is here, and he is offering a cup. And the water is flowing up. So it's kind of like some magic stuff. And it looks like he's on a stage. He's presenting something. So this is like, and there's a pentagram on the cup. And there's like this curtain here, and there's like a weird hand and an eye. So I believe there's some shadow figures in the back, and this might have been an offering, a sacrifice, or something. I believe there's some occult stuff involved.
All right.
Whether the reason is jealousy or whatever kind of shenanigans they were doing, but I believe there's some occult stuff going on.
I'm going to ask my guide, my dragon guide, if there were any more.
Yeah, covering up that brand. That's what I was thinking. Like changing that, like the serial number on the bike.
Yeah. Yeah. And all it says is it's a weird brand. So obviously, yeah, it's not anything anybody had seen, probably because it was covering up something else.
Yeah.
Oops. All right. So, yeah. Yep. So it would be recognized. Yep. I think you might be right about that. So, was I mistaken? And was there any residual, like were the Morrises or something involved with the Morrises there at the graveyard? Oh, that's a big yes. So you're right. There is more. There's more.
I grabbed my haunted house and I just split the deck, and the card that came up is the one with the magic ritual, 8 of Pentacles. So I think it's
something
safe
went
to
wrong.
say there is some occult stuff involved in all of this, whether this was a sacrifice or cover up of some sort, but I think there is some occult stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am so glad that I brought in the light of protection because I'm feeling the whole, you know what I mean? Just from,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's starting to feel heavy.
Yeah, same. So
my arms are getting kind of heavy. Like they don't even want to lift up anymore. It's like, ugh.
Yep.
Like the feeling of defeat in a way.
Yeah.
And also like not being able to move, kind of being like no more moves left. Like this is it, kind of.
Right. So like we can't release this for them. They have to release this. But at least now it's not covered up as far as like there are people that might think that, there was some wrongdoing and they got the bad end of the deal. They got, that it was more than just an unsolved murder. They were kept quiet for a reason, and the people involved were threatened to stay quiet, or their lives would have been taken or destroyed, like Floyd Smith. So, yeah, and that bad energy needs to go. And I think that all of us here have the power to push it away and help that energy go into a better place. What do you think?
Definitely.
Want to try that? All right. So as we call back in that bright light, that protective light, Jehovah, cover us with that protective light. And for anybody that was involved with the Morris murders, including Charles Morris, Esther Morris, Floyd Smith, Jenny Bull, Riley Huntley, anybody that was involved in this and got the raw end of it, it is time to release that energy. It's time to let it go. It's time to go into the light. It's time to release it. And nobody here today is going to carry that energy. That energy is going to leave us. That energy is going back to where it came from.
Yes, we release all the energies that were called upon during this reading. Go in peace, freedom. Peace be between you and us.
Thank you. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something.
Thank you for doing this with me.
You're welcome. This was very interesting.
It was, definitely. I feel like it just needed to be addressed for some reason. And I feel like now I know why.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to thank everybody that joined in chat because, wow. Lady Blind Wolf, thank you for pulling cards and helping with this. It was absolutely an amazing reading and an amazing experience. And it was my first time doing this too, live like this. So it was fantastic. And you know what? What a way to kick off October, right?
Yes. Let's open up that veil.
So Maria, you got anything coming up?
Well, I'm just getting back in the swing of things since I have been gone from YouTube for a while. So we'll see. I mean, we will have the next round table coming up next weekend. That will be announced soon. So for anyone, probably check out Instagram, our channels. You will always find information there or on the YouTube community pages or whatever. And yeah. And one thing we do want to bring back, hopefully soon, is the Tarot Tea and Tiaras. We haven't done that in a while. Yep. So yeah, it's time to put that tiara back on and talk about some stuff.
Hallelujah. I actually, yeah, I have a good one. And you had mentioned doing hopefully 30th of October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that date, and we can like end October on that excellent note.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I will be on Good Journey Tarot. We'll be talking about the Queen of Swords.
Oh.
Yeah, that's at 1 p.m. And then October 15th, I'm going to have Julia Kuchiewicz on my channel.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I know. I'm excited. And I also have, I just pulled up my calculator. Really? Right next to my calendar. Yep. So Julia Kuchiewicz on the 15th at 1 o'clock. So, and I can't wait to chat with Julie. And I actually got her Real Sky workbook. So I'm going to have her help me with that.
Yeah.
Don't let the name Carl Astrology mislead you in any way. I have very basic knowledge, so I'm very dependent on my astrologically gifted friends. So, all right, everybody, I want to say thank you, and we'll be seeing everybody soon. So,
Bye.